Alright, starting a new project today on my TJ. So this shock, when I was out wheeling last, came out. In fact, it came off at this point, which is where it mounts to the frame. You can kind of see that bent up, like a mounting bow tie. And then I also lost the rear bolt, so I have another bolt. If you're gonna wheel a Jeep and own a Jeep, especially a TJ, expect, or anything, whether it's Toyota, TJ, Chevy, expect to be working on things after you get done wheeling. So the shock, like I said, fell off my last wheeling trip. It popped the bow tie out. I think it broke a bolt. When I have to fix something that's broke, I try to upgrade at the same time. So I have a kit here that eliminates that bow tie. It's from cross country, and it's just these things. So that bolt's in place. Right, I got two of them. This comes with hardware to allow you to replace that with a normal bolt, so you don't have these little bolts and just a bow tie holding it on. When you have long travel suspension in these TJs, so I have these dual rate coil springs and a long arm kit on it that flexes out, and if you don't have the limiting straps, it'll pop your bow ties free. Those little bow ties will get knocked free. And this is the side that it happened to. You can see right there. Guess you can kind of see it. It's a little hole area right here. It's got this nut. This is a bolt that I think the head broke off. I have to get that out now. There's another bolt on the other side. You can kind of see the head of it there, just below that wire. So I'm gonna have to pop that out and replace it. And this other side, you can kind of see where the shock gets mounted. You can see the shock up there, right there, and then kind of hard to see, but yeah, kind of up there. So I'm gonna have to do that today. I have a wheeling trip coming up next week, so I have to get this fixed. So that's what I'm doing today on this old TJ. Now, with shocks like this that are really stiff, I'm gonna have to jack the back of the TJ up to be able to get the shock to fit, which is fine. Always shock your wheels when you're on a driveway. But that's the goal today, is to put my rear shock back in and then add this bracket and shock bolt to the other side. Alright, I gotta go work on that bolt now. Alright, well, I got one of these shocks in, and my situation's kind of a pain just because the Jeep is old and there's some jackery going about here. Let's see whether you can see the shock is back in place. I have the hardware in. I have a grade 8 bolt in there. You can see the shock bracket going across that opening. Let's see if I get another picture of it. You can see how the shock kind of goes up in there. Hopefully it focused. And it goes up and attaches. So, one of the hardest parts of this job that I found is the bush. It's always bushes. Don't mind my mess. It's I can never get these little bushings to go in to where these little sleeves that go in those bushings. For some reason that always fails on me. And then that little tie, that little bow tie is also an epic pain in the butt to get out of. But other than that, it's pretty much just like swapping shocks. I'm not going to put this one in until the other one breaks because, well, it's not the only thing I want to do today. What I noticed about my setup is that even this bolt didn't want to go into the bushing. So not only did the sleeve not want to go in the bushing, this didn't want to go in the bushing. So I had to kind of hone it out a little bit with a step bit, just so I can get it started and force it in there with some threads. Another thing I want to point out is if you're going to be wheeling anything consistently, doesn't matter what it is, it's good to have an assortment of just random ass bolts and hardware. Like I said, I was missing the lower shock bolt, fell off somewhere in the trail along with the upper bolt, mount bolt. So this is what the factory one looks like, right? And I had a grade 8 that fit, and that's kind of what I used for the side. But yeah, always have an assortment of bolts, even when you go on the trail. Like I said, I'm not going to do this side today. I don't have enough time to mess around with that crap. But you can see that's what it looks like before. The shock kind of goes up in there. It's got a little bow tie that goes through it, holds it up in place. Right, 2 bolts. This side, you can see now, has a mounting bracket instead. As you can see, the grade 8 hardware there to the right. The factory bolt for my shock is that little nub on the left, and the head is completely broke and mangled so badly there's no way you're going to be able to get that off. So previous owner drilled a hole so that way you could actually just put a nut and bolt through it. That's what I did. That's what I did last time, but unfortunately I don't think I used the grade 8, so it broke on me. But that's it. There's the part number. Alright. Sorry about the noise. This is the part number bar pin eliminator kit. Here's the instructions. As you can see, it's only a page. Pretty easy. Pretty straightforward. What it looks like. Or what it's supposed to look like. A lot of contortionism. And then when it comes time to put the shock back in place, if you have really good shocks, it's kind of difficult to do, so you kind of have to be clever with like jacking the Jeep all the way up from the body or frame, and then using like a small bottle jack. That's what I did. So I just hooked up to my hitch, jacked up from the hitch, skid plate there. There's one of these floor jacks, a bunch of blocks of wood. And I use that bottle jack to get that shock to the last of the way up so I can get the bolt into the bolt hole. Yeah, that's that. Any questions? Ask in the comments. Now, I want to try to change out this light bar because it is, I don't know why you would put a curved light bar on a flat windshield, but it looks like butt. I don't like it. So, on to that one. Alright, so this kit seems pretty simple. So this is your switch that goes inside. It's got a plug on it that you route through. And then this is your wiring harness. Alright, so you got a relay in it. Has your connection points for your battery. And then it has on the bitter end here. Oops, sorry about that. Fucking jacking this thing around like crazy. as the connectors to plug into the wiring on the actual light, which I already have mounted. So it's already mounted. Much better looking. So, and then this is that stuff I was talking about. It kind of mounts to your windshield, and then you just kind of pull it in, and it's got like a little channel for your wire to go into. So I just gotta wire these dudes up, and that'll be it. Alright, to finish off this video for the light bar and what I did with everything else, the light bar is pretty easy to do. You have the switch, yeah, it's upside down, but it's fine. It just has that little white plug run through your firewall, plug into the plug, peel and stick peel off this thing and stick it to the dash wherever you want to do it. I did it upside down, yeah, I know, but it's fine. Hookups underneath the battery are pretty straightforward. It's just a relay, which you got to bolt on, and then it's a pretty simple deal after that. It's positive to positive terminal, negative terminal. So you tie all your wires out the right way. So this is the after. As you can see, got a couple different modes, which I have not tried. Let's see here. See what the mode does. So click the mode once. What does that do? Put it in strobe on the outside. That would probably be annoying to people, but let's see what the next mode does. Next mode makes the amber strobe. Kind of cool, I guess. This is one of the reasons why I didn't wire it up to this Pro switch system, because these have all kinds of modes to them. I don't know how to function all that. Back to more blinking, strobing, red, white, and amber. Let's see here. Here's another mode button. And that just gives you just the solid white. No amber. Nice. And then do this one more time. What does that give us? Gives us back to a straight amber. I bet you that last one gives you amber and white again. Amber and white. Perfect. That's all I needed. Not anything fancy. Need to clean it. Maybe. And then off. So I need to get gas in this thing before I take my trip. And off. They're significantly better looking than the previous light bar I had. This is the little rough weather stripping, seems to be holding on just fine. Holds the wires in place.